in starting to realize what this team is, and Jason Lloyd and Joe Varden got together and wrote a pretty telling piece where they said there was a team meeting where the Cavaliers brass said, no more excuses about injuries. And I thought that was very interesting in terms of setting a tone that, okay, you had injuries last year in the playoffs, and those were certainly part of the story, but no more. We're not going to talk about those anymore. Well, they just jettisoned one of the guys that is perpetually hurt and not been able to play come playoff time at his highest level. So they went and got a guy who, yes, has struggled at times in the playoffs in some critical moments, but is available, who does not use injuries as an excuse. So I thought that was already one pretty big pivot for the team. But as far as the NBA, I almost wonder, are we talking too much about power, no power, or are we talking about the fact that the Cavs, whether or not they consulted with Donovan Mitchell or not, they realized they were up against it. They have to make decisions knowing that Donovan Mitchell and his time in Cleveland is at some point going to have an expiration. When you traded for Donovan Mitchell, did Cavs fans assume we would have him for 10 years?
No.
Who in sports do you get for a decade anyway? Who are the guys? How many players do you truly get?
Jose Ramirez, and that's the reason we love him.
Had to happen.
That's the reason we love him, exactly.
In sports, we only had LeBron the first time for 7 years. We just had Darius for 6.5.
Yeah.
This is year 4 for Donovan. So Donovan was always going to have an expiration. And listen, the Cavs admitted they've already had to admit with this move of Darius, they've already had to pivot off their plan, which teams do. Smart teams have to do it too, not just teams that made mistakes. Smart teams have to realize, okay, well, Jalen Tyson is a revelation. By the way, another 3-for-3 performance from 3 last night. Guy's incredibly shooting 47% from three-point range on a decent volume. So when I say revelation, that's been key. So they have to factor that in. They have to factor in that Evan Mobley is not as polished offensively as they were hoping that he would be in year 5. They have to recognize that, Donovan needs help. And so Darius Garland is not enough help.